What's up, space huggers? I am Sheev, and if you like space, sci-fi and games, this channel is for you. I also have a podcast where I talk with interesting gamers such as yourself, and I also do some streaming now and then here on YouTube. So join me and chat with me. Hit that subscribe not to miss out on any space game podcasts or just pure laugh at Sheev entertainment. Okay, so I'll be moving my Nightmare. This is my uninsured Nightmare. And I will move it through nullsec. So, alright. So I thought, while I'm doing this, why don't I just tell you guys a story? This is a story about me, and why almost everything is interesting, in my opinion. I will explain this in a calm manner, and hopefully I will not get into some PvP. Because I have not rigged this beast enough. It's actually not, it's not perfect. While we flying here, I think I have about 11 jumps. That is very dangerous, and the last one are extremely dangerous. So let me try to tell you this story. Now, if some of you don't play this game is a space game, and this ship is called a Nightmare, and this spaceship is valued around $200. And I will not get that back if I die. Alright. Anyway, this video is not about the Nightmare, but it's a cool add-on in the background here. So I will try to go through the story right now. I was born in 1981. I'm not that old, right? I'm not that old. Space, the unknown, and physics has always been fascinating to me. When I was little, I didn't mind anything that did not occur right in front of my nose. As a teenager, I had no time to wander over, I think, anything else than girls, I guess. But when I turned 23 or 24, I changed. It was very abrupt. Is that how you say it? One day I woke up with a huge urge to find out stuff. Stuff that I never thought about, and stuff that I thought I knew. It's actually very weird how that happened, because I have always watched sci-fi. I have watched Carl Sagan, The Cosmos, The X-Files, and you can pretty much name any series or movies or anything from Discovery, you know, I've seen it. I've seen everything. But I never thought about it more than just a skin deep. You know, I just watched it because it was cool, and I never really paid attention. Alright, I just have to concentrate on the game as well. So if you guys have the same childhood as I do after this story, then just let me know. But anyway, I know exactly when I felt I wanted to know more. One day, I was making a fire. And I love making a fire pit and just enjoy the flames. So I sat there, you know, I dreamt away, as I usually do. I started to wonder, and this was many years back. As I said, I was probably 24 or 23, I don't know. And I started wondering why bigger logs burn longer than smaller logs. Yeah, it's a dumb question. I mean, it's obvious that stuff burns since you engulf it in fire. And that if it's bigger, it naturally should burn longer, right? But my mind was asking me, like, why does it burn longer? So I started, like, thinking about it. And imagine I was just sitting here with my own brain thinking. I didn't start to Google yet. So the reason I thought can't be because it's bigger. Because if the only reason is that if something is bigger, then it burns longer. I mean, I could think about bigger stuff that didn't burn long, you know? Stuff that burned very quick, but it was even bigger. And also, like, if it's bigger, should it not burn harder or faster or warmer? You know, all these questions started to get to me when I sat there at the fireplace. And I continued to think, but no matter how hard I tried, I could not answer it. I knew that stuff could start to burn when it's hot enough. And I knew that wood burned due to it had some carbon in it, you know, and when that being hot, it released particles and therefore became less dense. You know, I knew that. But it took like probably 2 hours until I had to start Google. And I just wanted to find the answer. I wasn't really interested in it. But I did Google it. And it said something like bigger logs burn longer because it has more mass. That was pretty much the answer. And I still felt like that's not a good enough answer. I kept Googling. Because in my mind, because rocks have mass and they still don't burn as good as wood or as long as wood, or so it can't be just mass either. Anyway, I found out that what I learned in school about stored energy. So I understood what that was, finally. I mean, I had heard it in school, but I didn't really care. As I said, it was probably too many girls. But stored energy is literally energy from the sun. My mind got that part. But then without Googling, I understood that the fire from the sun must have been absorbed by the tree. And some people might say that's nothing special. But my head now told me that the bigger a log is and the longer it burns, it's because it's been absorbing the sun more. It's no longer about the size really. It's more about the energy it has. And when I'm thinking about that, it became clear that the warmth and the light that I look at when I'm burning a log, it's actually the power from the sun itself. It's just been stored and I just released it. The photons that the sun emits hits the tree and gets absorbed. And the photons are the light and the warmth that we see from the sun. So the log burns for as long as it has energy. And it's really the fire from the sun that we see when we're burning the logs. And that baffled me. You know, I was like, I have never thought about it like that. Just had to check so there's no one here. I'm getting a bit nervous now. It's like 3 jumps now. So just I'm feeling my ship. Holy crap. I'm feeling that I don't want this to go bad. I really don't want this to go bad. Anyway, I this is actually not the big reason. The reason is the second question I got. I started to think about stuff that burns, you know, plastic, different gases, small rocks, you know. I was not very clever. But it was when I thought of what doesn't burn that I got the same question. Because water does not burn. And I started asking like why. And I tried to narrow it down the same way. So it's like water does not burn because it's wet. And not really, because oils are wet. And they burn, so it can't be just because it's wet, right? Let me just see so there's no one here. Alright, so I kept, you know, asking myself the questions like, is it because it's transparent? And then I recall that the lighter fluid, that burns and it's transparent, so it can't be because that. And I did narrow it down so many reasons that I was sure that pretty much the only reason is because it's water. You know, it's pretty much the only reason. But I cannot say what property of it that made it that effective. Because water has a lot of hydrogen, so it should burn. But why doesn't water burn? And it took me quite some time, but I did understand it eventually. Water is made out of hydrogen and oxygen. And when you burn something, then hydrogen will combine with the oxygen in the air and form water. So the reason water does not burn is because the water is what's left from a fire. Because the water has already been burned. And that was the awakening that made me who I am today. That the water does not burn because it already has burned. That's crazy. Okay, this jumps here, hold on. This jump here is crucial. This is where I might lose a shit ton of ISK, man. Hold on. Hold on, let me just... I'm sorry guys, I have to watch this. I love this feeling, I love this feeling. This is the best.
Warp drive active.
Holy crap. Alright, let's see.
Warp drive active.
You guys usually do this? Move expensive stuff? Not insured? Through nullsec? It's the best ever. Let's not have... Oh, it looks good. Yeah, we got blue people here. So it's nice. I think there's no problem. I'm a person that many people probably think that I ask too many questions. I'm a thinker. You know, someone people tend to not to speak to since you always have another question. But here I am today, 39 years old. And every day my head finds new questions to stuff that I really don't need to know. Every day. I can say that the biggest and the best ability from asking so many questions that I do and finding information about stuff, you know, how stuff works and why stuff happens, that's not really the best ability that I achieved. I'm not proud of knowing unimportant stuff, but what I am proud of is that when I find a question nowadays, I usually don't have to Google it. This might sound weird, but somehow I have learned to dissect the problems and find the answer out myself. And this is why I found space, physics, and even stuff I don't really have interest in interesting. I just need to dig deeper for some stuff. And when I do that, everything becomes weird. And that is where I love to be. And I am totally safe. I will continue to Yita. But I hope I gave you an insight in who I am and why I love to understand stuff, ponder and figure stuff out. Because I know that deep down
Autopilot engaged.
I will find an answer. I hope this story was interesting to you guys, and I hope the video was a bit interesting. And I really hope that you don't think that me babbling on is boring. But I did manage to move the Nightmare, and I had an exciting time
Warp
doing
drive
so.
active.
And I'll see you guys again.